today we're going to be reviewing 3 topics. The first topic is just interpreting scatter plots. I need everybody's computers closed and eyes with me. The first part is interpreting scatter plots, not making trend lines or anything today, just interpreting them. So you need to know that if it's moving upward, it's called a positive trend. What you also need to know is as X increases, write this down, Y increases. So as X is getting bigger, Y is getting bigger. Those will be questions that you have to interpret. As X increases, Y increases. Okay, on this one, what's happening? So it is. So as X is increasing, so as X increases, what's happening to Y in this one? I only hear one person. Decreases. Y decreases. Okay, this, what's going on? Nothing at all. Nothing is going on. And with this one, this is what we call nonlinear. You wouldn't have to explain it, just know it's something's going on, but it's not in a straight line pattern. Is everybody good with interpreting scatter plots? All right, on these, anytime you see 2 lines graphed where there's an intersection, all they're wanting to know is the intersection. That's all they want to know is the intersection. The answer will either be the X value or the Y value or the coordinate for that value. Okay, so all eyes on the board. What is the X value of this coordinate? So the answer could be 18, comma, what is the Y value? So they could just ask for the coordinate and that's the answer, that's the solution. Or they could ask it either one of these ways. So let's read this question. On what day were the ribbon cells the same? Well, where's days at? On the x-axis or y-axis? So which answer would it be for the x-axis? On 18 days. Or they could ask, on that day, how many ribbons did Erica and Frank each have left to sell? Well, where are ribbons at? On the y-axis. So what would your answer be if it asked it that way? 15 ribbons. So anytime it's 2 lines that intersect, it wants the point of intersection. That's your answer. So you would either write it as a coordinate or you would answer it based off the X value or Y value. You just have to read the question. Anybody have questions on that? Are we okay? Now, probably most of you remembered all this, yes? But when you got to this, you probably have forgotten how to do it. Mean absolute deviation. Y'all remember hearing about it this year? Okay, there are 3 steps. Step 1, write this down. I don't see everybody writing. Step 1, you're going to average those numbers. Does anybody remember how to average? Add them all up. And then divide by how many are there. So you add, then divide. So step 1, add them all up and divide by how many are there. All right, so we're going to take our calculator. Make sure that you are not in rounding mode. So I'm just in normal calculator mode. I'm going to add 3 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 11 plus 15 plus 16. Okay, so that's my adding part. Now I have to divide by how many numbers are there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. And 72 divided by 8 is 9. There will most likely be an answer that says 9. Do not pick it. Did y'all hear me? Because there's 3 steps and we've only done what? We only did 1 step. Step 2. Subtract and make a new list of numbers. So you're going to take the answer from step 1 and you're going to subtract it from each of these to make a new list. Do not write a negative if you get it. Just write the positive number. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do 9 minus 3. And I'm going to tell y'all, to be successful on these problems, you have to be organized. So what I do is I do 9 minus 3. That's the first number. Hit enter, write it down, and then mark it off that you've done it. That's how you get organized. So on your paper today, I would write that list down so that you can go mark through them. Okay, now I'm going to do 9 minus 6, which is 3. I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to mark that one off. And then 9 minus 6 is 3. Nine minus 7 is 2. 9 minus 8 is 1. Now watch what happens when I get to this one. I'm going to do 9 minus 11, and it's going to give me a negative number. But what do I write? Just write 2. Everybody good with step 1 and step 2? I'm going to say it again. Step 1, we add them all up. We divide by how many are there. Step 2, we take that number, subtract it from each of those to make a new list. Step 3, you're going to average the new list. So you're going to do step 1 all over again, but with the new numbers. So you add, then divide. So I'm going to do 6 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 7. Don't forget to divide though. Then I'm going to divide by 8, and that's my answer. That's my final answer, 3.75. Now, it will happen every once in a while that on step 1 you get a decimal. So it's annoying because you have a lot of subtracting to do and you have to type it in every time. But it's just annoying. Just be annoyed and that's okay. Don't just give up because there's a decimal. Because let the calculator do all the work. Now, on the STAR test, this question will only be on the test one time. And they only put it on the test like every other year. It was not on the test last year. So if I had to guess, there will be one question on the test this year like that. Okay? So just make sure you remember average, subtract to make a new list, average. Okay? Go ahead and open your Chromebook to 15-4, and I will pass out the answer document, and you'll get it checked with me just like every day.